Welcome to Nightmares and Grief, a place to explore and celebrate the darkness. Each episode, I'll read stories written by me, Derrick Heisey. So settle in, check under the bed, and pour a drink for the skeletons in your closet. It's time to start. The old farmer always woke before daybreak. His body knew the time. Years ago, he had a clock radio, and it would wake him with a weak signal mired in static, the sound like wind shushing through trees in the mountains. The radio was set to an oldies station, but when the songs became less and less familiar to the farmer and his body woke him up earlier and earlier of its own accord, he donated the radio to the churchyard sale. He lived in near perfect silence now, except for the occasional song from the battered record player on his porch. He made coffee and stared through the kitchen window above the sink, gazing into the darkness beyond. Many things needed his attention today, as they did every day, and he used the still, quiet time before the sun came to nourish himself. He took his coffee to the porch and eased into his rocking chair facing east. Watching the sunrise, being the first to hear the awakening birds, and enjoying a fresh cup of coffee. He treasured these simple pleasures above all else. The farm was far from town, but it was close enough to a large Air Force base that the dishes in the cabinet rattled several times a day with the force of sonic booms. He enjoyed the roar of jets tearing the sky overhead. Recently, they rippled through the clear blue more often. When he went into town, he overheard the word war sprinkled throughout conversation like a light rain. It bothered him, of course, but he was old and happy and did his best not to let it get to him. The sun still slumbered when he finished his coffee and went inside for another cup. On his way out, he stopped by the old case in the living room, possessed by the amusing notion that it would be very pretty to listen to "Here Comes the Sun" while waiting for the sunrise. He retrieved the old album, still pristine, and brought it to the turntable on the porch. As the record played, the farmer watched the sky change. By the opening bars of track 7, it wore the faint blue which precedes the sun. The song went, "Sun, sun, sun, here it comes." And there was a great flash on the horizon near the place where the jets took off. For the briefest moment, the farmer believed it was the very edge of the sun peeking over the horizon, but it was too bright, too white. He only had enough time for confusion to settle in before the shock wave rippled over the field, followed by fire. 10,000 miles away, the young president poured a drink. He put the nuclear codes back into the briefcase, locked it, and then asked God to forgive him. His wife wasn't speaking to him, so he tuned the radio to an oldies station. Through faint static, George Harrison told him it would be all right. The sun was on its way. Thank you for sharing my nightmares and helping me carry the grief. If you want to help the show, keep listening. Share your favorite story with a friend or family member,
You can get early episodes by supporting me on Patreon, where I also share insights behind each story. Thanks again for spending this time with me. Peace.